This is Dwight Smith in Richmond, Virginia again, and I've just done 2 recordings of introductions, and each time I go into meditation, I think of something else that I would like to share, something else I would like to write down. So since I'd like to write it, I thought I'd record it with you. So what came to me is how I know I'm in meditation, how I know that my eyes are going to be closed, no distraction, because I'm going to take you into the meditation that I have. Right now, the furnace is running, and most importantly, I have no thought in my head. I don't know how to tell me to not think a thought. I only know how to not think a thought. And so one of the ways I do it is I have this vibration in my ears. I don't know if everyone has it. I suspect everyone does. If they quiet their intellect enough, I think they can hear it. And I put my focus of attention on that without any resistance, without ever trying to. This is all just doing it. We're not only doing it when we think we can't, or that we're not, or we're thinking we have to. When we give up all those attachments and just be that stillness and silence, that's the only way to not have a thought from Dwight's perspective. So my attention's on this buzz in my ear, and I realize that this vibration is a vibration of the universe. I'm hearing it. I'm also feeling it. I know there's a sense to taste it and to touch it and to smell it, to see the various colors of it. But I know this vibration exists. And it's not something I hear with my ears, although that's where I sense it. It's throughout my whole body. I know this vibration of energy is every cell, every organ, every fiber, every tissue, every part of my body. So as I allow that to kind of take me into that oneness of this vibrational energy is one throughout my entire body. And then I am one as a body within this vibration of energy, as a you and everyone else. Just get that unification and that bigness, the vastness of who I really am, who you really are. In truth, we're infinite. Not a mind blower. In truth, we are infinite. And yet, we are known, as Ernest Holmes says, by the name we bear. So, I will pause and know. So, here's the key for me. Here's the key. To keep going back to the stillness and silence, to being it. And for me, I can do that with a breath. If I'm ever in conflict or anything less than total love, I just take a breath, open myself, and the Father and I are one. And it expresses its love through me, as it does through you. So, okay, I'm gonna pause for an actual meditation, perhaps this time. So from the stillness and silence, my passion for 2018 is peace on earth. My passion is we can do it. We need each other. It's one person at a time coming into the recognition of the Christ within, and then living it to the best of our ability, without expectations. Sometimes disappointed, take it back to the Christ. Feel the assurance and that which heals that and helps us to be more present. As meditation, there is no expectation, it's just allowing. So as we do this, as we allow the Christ to do this through us, as we raise our consciousness to the thought above the thought we're thinking, to that which has the perfect idea of creation. Everything in nature is in harmony. I go to nature a lot. Nature is the unadulterated God. The God without human design. The pure. The truth. That God that's the intelligence for migrations, the intelligence for reproduction and the whole process throughout all the kingdoms. The God that holds the planets in orbit. The intelligence, the power, the wisdom, the knowing, and then leaving its entire creation to create itself. This is our job. God has a design. Our free will can disobey. And we see the results of that disobeying. But our job is not to focus on that, but to know that as I come up in my consciousness and I become the love of God, the love of Christ, the power, the wisdom, that knows when to be silent, that knows how to say everything that needs to be said in the way it's to be heard, is within us all the time. And so as we recognize this in ourselves and recognize it in our brothers and sisters, we bring it forth. God knows itself. God recognizes itself in others. And so our joy is to be this beautiful being of light and love, intelligence and wisdom, egoless, just being authentic, being the truth of our desires, our highest desires. Although his desires also have their rewards. But I have found them not to be the joy and the happiness and love of the purity of love. It's allowing ourselves to be ourselves at all times. As I experience this as the beginning, as feelings, vibration of energy that fills me is the same vibrational energy throughout the universe. I connect this love of me, the love of Christ, the love that I know, the love that I'm understanding, to the best of my ability, for now. And I just experienced radiating that, especially in this moment in time, radiating that as the center of the universe, through the entire universe. My first intention is to all humanity, our leaders, all leaders, our religious leaders, political leaders, corporate leaders, educational leaders, all leaders, prison leaders, all organizations. I see a justice system that works fairly, equally for all people. I have many ideas on how that can be accomplished because I believe there's always a solution for the highest and best good in the infinity of possibilities available to us. Our job is to open to those possibilities that we haven't thought of yet, or have been told yet, the thought above the thought we're thinking, and see what comes. So I know as leaders tune into their higher self, only solutions are available for harmonious, peaceful, loving relationships all over the world. I know there are many awake Christs. There's a quote that I love that I take as my own, but it is not. It is Edwin Gaines where I first heard it. And it is, we have too many Christians. We need more Christs. One of the visions I have for our world is knowing Jesus as I do, as this loving, confident, self-assured revealer of truth. I place billions of him all through the earth, all through humanity, all colors, all cultures, all everything, just being the Christ, being the love, the joy, the happiness, the confidence. And all around these billions of Christ are centers of Christ-conscious people. This is the gift. The Christ of Jesus came at the beginning of this millennium in 2000 with 9 letters. And all that I am saying is from these letters, are supported by these letters. They are the text that of the entire world, it's available in at least 6 or 7 languages. If these were used all around the world, we would see peace on earth. We would be peace on earth. My only job, although right now I'm enjoying this meditation, is to put these letters into hands of people who want to be the light, who want truly the reality of the ideal of peace on earth. This is my passion. I believe in 2018, with enough of us having this passion, living this passion, allowing this passion to be us individually and as a collective, easily we can bring forth the kingdom of heaven. It begins within each of us recognizing the kingdom of heaven is within, not without. It's without also. But it's from the within, the intelligence within, that is the creator of it. So each of us are the creator of our bodies, our experiences, our relationships. And as we can take responsibility for these on the so-called physical plane, where we can analyze them, and then bring Christ into the analysis, it brings the analysis into a healthy conclusion. On Christmas Eve in 1979, the radio stations in the metropolitan Washington, D.C. area where I lived at the time, I was in a family of four, my second marriage, 4 children, 2 children each. And the radio stations had asked everyone to stand outside with a candle lit for 1 second for every day that our hostages were held hostage in Iran. I think it was Iran. If not, you know the right country. I just released it. And so I don't know how many years they were captive, but there are 365 days in a year. So that's 365 minutes, seconds, which is 6+ minutes. And then 6+ minutes for every year. I know it was at least 2 years, so because I was out there for at least 12 minutes. So my family did not want to go out with me, so I went out. At the time I lived in a townhouse development. There were 5 units across of each row of townhouses, and we formed an open block kind of around a courtyard. Very pretty, very friendly people, very nice community. Everyone knew each other pretty much. So my family, it was a cold December 4th night. The wind was blowing. And so they didn't want to go out. So I went out by myself, which is part of the blessing. So I went out, and I was the only one out there of all the 5 floors, 20 other units. I was the only unit that was out with a candle. And not only one, I had 6. So in the cold, knowing, wow, I've got to be here for 12 minutes. It's cold, it's going to be miserable, so what should I do? Well, let's meditate. When there's nothing else to do, just meditate. When there's mindless tasks to do, just meditate. Every opportunity, just be the Christ. This is the excitement of life. So I crouched down. There was kind of a block of wall around the stairs, the entrance to the house, townhouse. So I crouched down, and I started thinking, and I just allowed this wonderful tool of imagination to just drift out. And I saw me with candle lit, walk down from my stairs and walk to the building beside me, knocked on the door, and a woman came to the door. And I lit her candle, and I asked her to go inside and light the candle of everyone in the house. And now, with your candles lit, everyone you meet, light their candle. And ask them to ask everyone to light their candle. And so on and so on. And let's come back 1 year from tonight with our candles lit. And then I let the time lapse for moments as I just envisioned this spreading. We're going to the office and lighting all the candles of my office mates and having them light the candles of their families and so on and so on. Just see from me, from each one of us, the spread of this light all over our world. And so I come back 1 year later, and I come out on my porch, and everyone comes out, and all the residents' candles are lit, and smiles. And then I rose, and I could see the whole development of townhouses. Everyone was outside with candles lit. As I rose, I saw the cars on the roads all stopped all the occupants outside with their candles lit. And I allow the world to rotate beneath me. And I see all over the world these candles lit. Can you believe this can be done in a year? Can you believe that every smile you give, and in your mind ask them to give that smile to everyone else? Without any expectation, just know that it's passed on. You know, and have the opportunity to share with other lights, other those who are awakened, your passion to see world peace by December 31st, 2018. Each of us become that light. Each of us light the candle of all others when we allow our light to so shine. With the confidence that Jesus showed us. That's why I feel so blessed with the intimate relationship with Jesus, because I know that he was, because he's always alive in me. I just know that same, everything about him is me. It's our potential. He shows us what our potential can be, not just as one human being, not as an exception, but as the common man, common woman, common child, common life forms, with respect, with equality, with brother sisterhood, allowing the love, that true love, that shining, brilliant love within us to radiate, to fill everything around us. Remember, we're not just a body. We're not just the auras we've seen around the body. Our energy field is as big and wide and high and deep as we want it to be. And as Tom says, I'm a God-conscious center of the universe. There is no circumference except the one that we put up there. So right now I'm feeling the center of imagining myself as an ant inside of a gigantic beach ball, the size of my consciousness. And everything, the whole complex that I'm in, has this vibrational energy going through it. And all who are open and willing to receive this love, this joy, this upliftment to their day, receives it. And then I imagine myself as the center of humanity's consciousness. And I know there are many around the world vibrating with this energy, absorbing it and passing it on. And I, as everyone else, receive it. So we amplify it as we send it out, as we turn up the rheostat of light. Because it's not ours, not limited to us. We just allow the Christ light, that infinite, universal light of creation, of all knowing, of all wisdom. And again, giving total free will to its manifestation. And then I radiate this light out to all the systems of our planet. the trees, the animals, the birds, the snakes, the slugs, everything is this love vibration expressing. And I allow this vibrational energy to go right down to the center of the earth. And I become it at the center of the earth and radiate it out through the atmosphere. Out into where the mystery begins. And I'm going to meditate with this for a while.